it's Greg Watford again, and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be looking at gold and the price of Karatbars, and this came about when someone said to me, Karatbars, no, they're too expensive. I can buy my gold much cheaper elsewhere. So of course I quickly got a calculator out and looked at the card. The card's worth 50 euros roughly, so 50 euros multiplied by 1.5, because we're in Australia to bring it to Aussie dollars roughly, multiplied by 31, because there's 31.1 grams in 1 ounce troy, and it comes to around about $2,000. And I thought, how can this be? How can Karatbars charge for the gold card, an equivalent of $2,000 an ounce? And this was most peculiar, and I thought, well, let's investigate this and get to the bottom of it. So this is what this video is all about. Please stay with me, because we're going to answer those questions and more. And one thing, I'm not an expert in gold, but I've done my research. I'm happy with the answers that I've got, and I thought I'd pass those on to you. So here we go. So let's go and start. All that glitters is not necessarily gold. So let's go and start with some basics of gold. 24 carat, and what's the difference between a K and a C? So what we'll do is we'll have a look at some websites through this. And you notice this is one here. This is a How Stuff Works website. And it says here, a carat with a C is a unit of weight for diamonds and gemstones. 1 carat is equal to 200 milligrams. And carat with a K, when used for gold, is for purity. 24 carats is pure gold. And usually you mix gold with a metal like copper or silver to make jewelry, because the pure gold is far too soft. It gives an example here that if you have a piece of jewelry with 18 parts of gold and 6 parts of copper, it's regarded as 18 carat gold. This is interesting. Where did this funny unit of purity come from? It turns out that we got the Deutschmark 1,000 years ago. There was a coin, and it weighed 24 carats, or 4.8 grams. So the purity of the gold in the coin was expressed in the number of carats of the gold present in the 24 carat coin. So I thought that was very interesting. So that's the difference between a K and a C. The C is to do with weights regarding precious stones such as diamonds, and K with a carat is to do with the purity of gold, and 24 carat is regarded as pure gold. The next thing is this fineness. You see this 999.9 come up from time to time. You think, well, what's that? Is it 999.9%? Doesn't sound right. So let's have a look at this, and where we went to here was in Wikipedia, and it's called the millisimal fineness is a system of donating purity in platinum, gold, and silver alloys in parts per thousand for the pure metal of the mass. Okay, so that's where it comes from. And if you have a look at gold here, you can go right down. 18 carat is regarded as 750. There's 9 or 10 carats. There's 400 odd. And we're up here. Let's have a look. 999 is regarded as 24 carat, and 999.9 is what our Karatbars is manufactured to, is the standard, which is manufactured to, the fineness. Okay, so that's the fineness, or where you get the 999.9. It is parts per thousand. So in other words, it's 99.99%, 99.99% pure. The next thing to have a look at is what's this LBMA and good delivery specification that keeps coming up often. And I went back to Wikipedia for this. The good delivery specification is a set of rules issued by the London Bullion Market Association describing the physical characteristics of gold and silver bars and used for settlement in the wholesale London bullion market. It also puts forth requirements for listing on the LBMA good delivery list of approved refineries. So just repeating that, it also puts forth requirements for the listing on the LBMA good delivery list of approved refineries. So if you're going to buy your gold, you'd want to buy it from an LBMA approved refinery. Well, with Karatbars, that occurs. The refinery is in Turkey and it is LBMA certified. So I believe there's only a handful of refineries around the world that are LBMA certified. So we can be assured of the purity and the weight of what you're getting in the bars. Oh, look, one thing I wanted to mention with this LBMA listing, there's a minimum. When they say you're buying 1 gram or 1 ounce or 1 kilogram, the LBMA requirements is it must be a minimum of that. Now, our sponsor, the person that introduced us into Karatbars, Rosemary, she was a currency trader with me. We're in a group. She took her card, one of her cards, to a local jeweler, a manufacturing jeweler, and they cut out the little 1 gram of gold, and they measured it, and it came up at 1.1 grams. It was 10% over the 1 gram limit. So she was very pleased with that, and she passed that information on to me, and I'm passing it on to you. So the next one here is where it says cast bars versus minted bars. You think, well, what's a cast bar and what's a minted bar? If you look at the photograph on the right, do you notice the shine on the gold bars? Personally, I think they're polished up for the photograph. Because if you look here, where have we got? This is the FAQs in one of the gold sites that I came across, and it says, what's the difference between a cast bar and a minted bar? A cast bar is a bar that is taken directly from a cast and then is no longer refined. A minted bar is a highly refined bar, which is aesthetically more pleasing than the cast bar, and therefore minted bars are more expensive than cast bars. An example of this would be coins. So if you have a 1 ounce gold coin, obviously the 1 ounce gold coin it would cost more than just the basic raw ingot. Let me just show you. You have a look at these. These are 10 ounce ingots, and you can see how rough they are on the edges. They've just been poured. They've just been cast and stamped with a 999.9 and the 10 ounce gold. But they're just roughly poured out of when they're molten, poured straight into a mold and then just tossed out once they solidify. And if you have a look here, this is a good one. Look closely at this. Have a look at this corner over here. See how it probably must have had a bubble in there, and the surface is all pitted. It's almost like a loaf of bread. It's not smooth at all. So that's a cast bar, and as opposed to a minted bar. Now a minted bar is rolled and stamped and basically manufactured, and that's where the Karatbars come into it. If you have a look, it's beautifully done, as a matter of fact, and it is beautifully minted, a minted bar. Some of which is going to cost more than just the normal 1 ounce. Okay, what's next? We've got I accumulate rather than invest. This is interesting. If your friend says, yes, I can go down and buy my gold by the ounce or by the kilogram or whatever from my local bullion dealer, and I can buy it at my good price, 10 to 1 that person would be an investor. An investor is someone that goes and buys their gold in maybe $5,000, $10,000 worth, $20,000, $50,000, whatever it may be. They bring it home, shove it under the bed, as I say, wait for the price to go up, sell it off back to the bullion dealer, and then wait for the price to come down before they get into the market again. That's investing. They mightn't necessarily bring it home and shove it under the bed. That's just my way of looking at it. You can leave it with the bullion dealer, and they'll charge you a small rental to look after it. But that's the idea of investing. Same as real estate, whatever, stamps. You buy low, sell high, shares, wait for it to come back down again, buy low, sell high, and that's how you make money. We don't invest in Karatbars gold. We accumulate our gold. we exchange our paper money, our worthless paper money, or fiat money as it's called, for gold, because gold does not lose its intrinsic value where paper money does. Paper money floats all over the place, and there is people on the net now are viewing gold could even go to 5,000, 10,000 or more dollars an ounce. If that's the case, what's actually happening is our paper money is actually decreasing in value. Therefore, that's going to push up gold. So it remains to be seen what actually happens with that. But I just wanted to point out the difference between investing in gold, as in gold bullion as I call it, or exchanging your paper money for tradable pure gold. You can trade this. You can't trade bullion. You saw the bullion, the ingots, quite large, and you can't take it down to the local shop to buy your milk and bread, or buy fuel for your car. You can with this. Ultimately, that's another story about using K exchange stores where you can walk in and buy products, etc. Okay, the next thing, right? Okay, accumulating rather than invest. That's the basics of gold. So the next one is let's compare Karatbars and see. Okay, if it is more expensive, right? Why is that so? And the first thing is buying in quantity, which I've already touched upon. If you're going to buy gold by the kilogram, you're going to buy it at a much better price than you would to buy it at the gram or an ounce. You'll buy an ounce much cheaper, equivalent, than buying at 1, 5, 2.5 grams. So the greater the quantity you buy, the less the unit price becomes. The next one is cast versus minted bars. I've already touched upon this, where Karatbars is minted. Therefore, it is there's an additional premium put on it to manufacture that, as opposed to just pouring the molten metal straight out into a cast and then dropping the ingot out once it's cooled. The purity, we've talked about purity. Yes, the Karatbars 999.9, it is regarded as 24 carat, so it's above the minimum for what's regarded as 24 carat, so which is really, really good. So we would regard it as being pure gold. The LBMA certified refinery, yes, I've already mentioned that. You wouldn't want to buy your gold anywhere else. So it's an insurance to make sure what you're getting is the real deal. Okay, packaging. Oh, this is interesting. The packaging, security case versus tamper-proof. When you go and buy your ingot down at the local your local bullion dealer, they could just wrap it up like sausages at the butcher, but often they'll provide it to you in what they regard as a tamper-proof case. It really is a blister pack. It's the same sort of thing that you would go down to your hardware and you would actually buy some nuts and bolts, and you buy it in a blister pack. And so there's your little ingot of gold inside this ordinary looking blister pack. With Karatbars have got a very secure tamper-proof packaging. There's the little gold ingot in there, and you can't really touch it. It's got the hologram on the back, the card, which is the same as a credit card, so you know how durable credit cards are. This is covered with a special film front and back, so you really can see that it is tamper-proof. This makes it what's called fungible. In other words, the Karatbars card that's sitting in my wallet is worth the same as the Karatbars card that's sitting in your wallet or purse. To find out a bit more about this, what I suggest is there's a video by Mike Maloney, and it is called The Hidden Secrets of Money. There's 5 sections to it. So all you've got to do is go to YouTube and just go and type in Hidden Secrets of Money, Mike Maloney, and he covers the difference between money and currency, and he also covers what's meant by the term fungible. Okay, so let's get back to this. So we did the packaging. So that the packaging is going to cost more, okay, for the Karatbars to be in that tamper-proof package, as opposed to just an ordinary blister pack. So now, what's the price of gold? This is there's actually two prices of gold, and this intrigues me, as a matter of fact. So the price you hear that the price of gold is set twice a day in London. Why London? About 3/4 of all the gold is sold through the City of London. So that's 3/4 of all the gold every day throughout the whole world is sold through London. So that's why it's all handled. That's why the LBMA is there, etc. Fixed gold prices. This is the first one. Fixed gold prices are set twice daily in London and are determined by the London Bullion Market Association. And this association has over 100 of the world's biggest banks, financial institutions, and precious metal stakeholders, and several of these companies serve as market makers. So that's the fixed gold price. The next price is the one that you and I are probably used to. You see this all over the internet, and it's what's called the gold spot price. So how does this fit in? So it says here that the gold spot price, most widely used price for gold, is the spot price, which is the price of gold at the present moment and is used as a base for determining the prices at your local gold shop, jeweler, bullion dealer, etc. The spot gold price is based on the price of the futures contracts traded at futures exchanges around the world. Now, this is, I tried to get my mind around this, and this is the analogy that I came up with. It may or may not be entirely true, but it'll give you a different view on this spot price. I'll just show you the spot price right now, by the way. There it is there. That's a trading chart, and the spot price for gold, it says XAUUSD, so it's the price of 1 ounce of gold against the US dollar is, so 1 ounce is $1,321.57. Whoops, now 58. Where it says a month, by the way, a month here is actually these little candles, these red and green candles. Each candle is a month, and the distance between the white dashed lines is a year. So you can see all the way back to the left over here, you can see way back in 2003, the price, if you look on the far right and the bottom, you'll see it's 307, about that. Let's have a look, 310. So in 2003 it was about $310. It went all the way up over here in 2011. It hit around about 1930, 1920, 1930 up there, and now it's fallen back. And notice here it's what's called a double bottom over here, as a matter of fact. So it's dropped down to, let's see, it's dropped down to about 1184. And now it's travelling up here. This is where the current price is. This is the line of the current price, all right? And it's displayed here on the top right. So 1321.69. So that's the current spot price. Now, how I relate the spot price to what I buy my jewellery down the road or my ingots that I'm going to put under my bed for investing. How I relate this is, let's have a look at what's called the cash rate in the financial industry. Around the world, all the major the country's major banks, in this case, we've got the Fed in the US, you've got Bank of Japan in Japan, Bank of England in the UK, and we've got the European Central Bank, and we've also got the Reserve Bank of Australia, Reserve Bank of New Zealand. They all set the basic cash rate interest rates, usually on a monthly basis. In Australia, I know Australia because obviously I live here and I was in the financial industry. The first Tuesday in every month at 1:30 in the afternoon, the Reserve Bank release the current cash rate. Now, the cash rate in Australia is 2.5%. In Japan, it's 0. In the UK, I think it's around about a half. I think in the US, it's around about 1/4%. But let's come back to Australia because I know Australia. So it's 2.5%. It's also 2.5, I think, in New Zealand. So 2.5% Australia. Now, can you buy money at 2.5%? In other words, get a loan. Can you buy a loan at 2.5%? Well, no. The answer is no, because really the 2.5% is fictitious. What it's used to actually determine the rate of various financial products. So in this case, let's say the interbank rate, what banks lend one another, probably around about 3.5%. Home loans, 4.5%, 5%. It's what 5.5, so but 4.5 to 5.5% currently. What have we got? Let's say car leases. You could go and lease a car and 8%. Unsecured, let's go, okay, unsecured personal loans. That's when you go and toddle down the bank and say, can I have $5,000 to go a trip overseas or something? Probably to 12%, 13%. Credit cards, 18%, 20, 25, depending on the card, etc. So we've got it all the way from normal home loans being the cheapest for you and I, 4.5% all the way up to 20-odd%. And that's all based on this 2.5% cash rate. So to my way of thinking, it actually fits very well with the gold price. The gold spot price of $13.20 is really this base figure that everything else is based upon. So it depends upon the quantity of gold that you buy. It depends upon the purity of gold that you buy. It depends upon whether there's been some added value, like jewelry. It depends upon whether they're coins and the size of the coin, the type of the coin, and the rarity of the coin comes into it as well. So yes, the spot rate is here, but these prices are actually put on top. So when someone says to you, I can buy my gold at currently $13.20, no, you can't. There's always going to be a margin put on by the bullion dealer because they're in business to make money anyhow. Okay, so that's my take on how the spot price works, and I feel comfortable with that because it explains a few things in my mind, how to view the price of gold. So the price of gold is not always the price of gold. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now to finish off, we're going to look at a real live example and compare Karatbars to a gold ingot that you can go and buy somewhere else. Now, you can go and buy gold almost anywhere in the world. You go to the bullion dealers, etc. But I'm here in Australia, and our largest supplier of gold here is what's called the Perth Mint. Australia was the largest supplier of gold in the world until recently, and China overtook us. The state which produces the most gold is Western Australia. The capital of Western Australia is Perth. The Perth Mint is the largest organisation in Australia to provide precious metals. So I went to the Perth Mint because I knew the price would be good. Okay, so it's not just the local bullion dealer down the road, as it were, or your jeweller. This is a very large organisation, and it is LBMA certified because there's a refinery attached to the Perth Mint. They have a retail side and they got a refinery, and it's LBMA certified. So that ticked all the boxes for me. And then I looked, okay, I wanted to compare a 1 gram gold bar. Well, you can't get 1 gram gold bars. They're hard to get. How about 2.5? No, same deal. 5 is the smallest gold bar that is produced by, well, in this case, the Perth Mint. Now, I'm not saying you can't buy 1 gram gold bars around the world. There is a handful of suppliers of 1 gram gold bars. Really, just I think it's about only 5 or 6 in the whole world that provides this, because it's really too expensive for them to do it. They want to go and sell you kilograms of gold and ounces of gold. They don't want to sell you grams of gold. So the Perth Mint has got 5 grams as being their smallest currently. Their smallest. I do believe they have produced a 1 gram time to time, maybe on a special deal or something or other, but generally no, it's 5 grams is the smallest. So that's okay because Karatbars produces a 5 gram as well, a 5 gram card. So let's go and have a look. So what we've done, where am I? I think we did go to find where I am now. I think there we go. Okay, so what I did, I got into my back office. Let's go this way. Okay, got into my back office. And this is where it says purchase gold up here. I've got purchase gold. And it says the classic gold bar. There's the classic gold bar there. Okay, so for 48.65 euros. And there's the 2.5 for 108 euros. And here we go. the 5 gram Karatbars card for 192.60 euros. Okay, so I'm going to take the 192.60 euros and let's go over here. And what I've done is I've multiplied it, because I'm going to bring it back to Australian dollars, because the Perth Mint sells me the gold bar in Australian dollars. So I thought, okay, we'll bring it all back to Australian dollars. I could have done it to US, but no, it's probably better just do one conversion. Now, here's one point. I'm not going to look at delivery costs, shipping freight costs. All I want to do is what would be the price to me if I actually purchased it. Okay, so I've left delivery out, and the other thing is the conversion. The conversion right now to go from euros to Australian dollars is 1.53 and a little bit. And yes, you can say, well, okay, what about the bank fees that are going to go on top of it? Yes, there is going to be conversion. But the way that I look at it is that hang on a minute, all I want to do is just that one conversion, because I actually buy my gold in euros off my debit card that I get my commissions on. Okay, so I deal all in euros. So I thought, okay, let's just leave it as one conversion. So we're going to take the basic price for the 5 gram card, multiply it by one conversion, bring it to Australian dollars, and compare that with the Perth Mint. Okay, so let's get back to it. So there we go. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the euro price out of the Karatbars back office, multiplied by 1.53, which is the current conversion, to Australian dollars, and it comes to 294.68. Okay, so let's go now to the Perth Mint. So here we are. We're in the Perth Mint. I'd already set this up for you. So here's the Perth Mint, and if you have a look here, there it is there. Okay. Well, okay, well, this one here, right there. It's 278.93. And what are we getting? We're actually getting 99.99, which is the 999.9 fines. Okay, we're minimum of 5 grams. Okay, that's cool. And here's their blister pack, tamper evident display card, they call it. Okay, so that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. And it's a nice looking gold bar. There it is there. So it looks very, very nice. Okay, so let's go back to our calculation. So in the Perth Mint, there it is. It was 278.93. Just make sure I had that right, because I keep changing it. Right. Okay, so 278.93. That's correct. Okay, so we got that right. So what I'm going to do is subtract the two, and it turns out that the Karatbars is $15.75 dearer. But when you work that out as a percentage, it's really only 5.6% more expensive. And well, 5.6%. I mean, really, that's not much, considering that there's two things to consider in this. One is the fact that this has got a far superior and more durable casing around it. This tamper-proof packaging. Plus, it's got the which side of it? There it is. It's got the hologram on the back. Okay, so to really ensure that it is the real Macquarie. So that's going to be a little bit dearer, probably a lot more than 5% just to do that. But the other thing is, the Perth Mint doesn't pay you to buy gold. Karatbars does. That's the point. The Perth Mint or the local bullion dealer down the road from your place will not pay you for you to buy gold. Karatbars does. That's how their business model operates. They want you to promote them, and the more you promote them and market them, the more commissions that you earn, and that's amazing. So the gold that you buy in euros off your debit, I should have had it with me, but it's Wendy's got it in her purse. The MasterCard debit card, that's in euros. So when we buy our gold on a weekly basis, we buy it in euros off the debit card, which our commissions are put in. Therefore, I don't have to put my hand in my pocket to actually buy my gold on a regular basis. Okay, I think that about wraps it up. After I went through all that research, I was pretty happy with it, and I think you should be too. If you have any queries about this, two things. One is I really encourage you to go and do your Google due diligence. Go and do some research about this and really get to the bottom of it, and to make sure that you're happy with it. And if you've got any queries, you can always contact Wendy or I. Just shoot us an email and see if we can help out. Okay. All right. It's been great talking with you, and I do hope that you've got value out of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.